The more fields we validate in this test case, the more confident we become that our getUserDetails web service endpoint returns correct information. And in this video, I'm going to validate a few more fields. And if your getUserDetails web service endpoint returns even more fields, please validate the rest of them just to have this peace of mind that your web service endpoint does return all the fields and correct information. Okay, so I'm going to add a couple of more fields, and this is for first name and last name. So just like user, public ID, and email, I'm getting the first name and last name from the response. And now I'll validate the first name and last name are not null. So I'll simply copy and paste it like this. And what I can also do, I can validate that my email address is equal to the email address I used to log in. So I will use assert equals in this case. And if I look at assert equals, it takes in expected and actual. So the first value is expected. Expected value is email address. I have it somewhere at the top here. Okay, so this is the expected value, and the actual value is the value I have received from the JSON payload from my HTTP response. Like this. So if these two values match, then I know my getUserDetails API call returned a correct email address. Now, what I also want to validate is the list of addresses. I know that getUserDetails also returns list of addresses because when we created UserDetails, we created a user with two addresses, shipping and billing. In one of the previous videos, we've learned how to take the entire JSON body response and convert it into a JSON document, and from that JSON document get list of addresses as JSON array. And in this video I'm going to show you how to use array list instead of JSON array. So to get list of addresses, we can use response and then same JSON path, but from that JSON path we will get a list. So here we go, we will get a list with the key addresses. And because this is a list, we will need to assign it to a list, and that list will hold not JSON objects now, but list of maps. So I will create a map here with string as a key and a string as the object that this key will hold. And I will call it addresses like this. Now let me import list from JavaUtil. Okay, and everything is good now. Now let's validate that the list of addresses is equal to 2, because when we created user, we've created that record with 2 addresses. So I will assert true that the list of addresses size is equal to 2. And I will also get one of the addresses, and I will assert that its user ID is equal to 30 characters. So from the list of addresses, we can easily get one of the entries by referring addresses and then get, let's say, first index. And from that first index, we can get an object. And here we will provide address ID. Okay, so we're getting address ID, and let me assign it to the address ID. And now I can assert that this address is not null, or I can assert also that the length of this address ID value is exactly 30 characters. So I will also use assert true that the address ID length is equal to 30 characters, like this. So now when I have a few more validation, I will feel a little more confident that if this test case passes, then my getUserDetails API call is working well. But again, the more validation we add here, the more we will become confident that our getUserDetails returns correct fields, and those fields contain correct values.